오늘은 How to Steal a Dog Chapter 6 페이지 넘버 41부터 페이지 넘버 46까지 함께 읽어볼 시간이에요. 네, 단어들 살펴보고 큰 소리로 따라 읽어볼 건데요. 이번 챕터 6는 굉장히 안 좋은 다 낡아 빠진 집으로 이사간 그런 장면을 묘사하느라고요. 그리고 대화도 많이 나오고요. 단어들이 좀 평소와 다르다는 점 미리 이야기하고 갈게요. 평상시 잘 안 쓰는 표현들 묘사를 하는 장면이라서 많이 나왔어요. 그래서 그 중에도 조금 함께 볼 것들만 모았고요. 그래서 분량이 많진 않아요. 큰 소리로 따라 읽어보고 단어들 정리해봐요. squeak, 끽 소리를 내다. squeak, 끽 소리를 내다. winding, wind가 구부리다라는 동사거든요. 그래서 winding, 구불구불한. clutch, 왜 우리 자동차에 클러치라는 오토미션, 자동은 아니고요. 수동 자동차가 있거든요. 수동 자동차엔 있어요. 클러치, 꽉 움켜쥐다라는 뜻이고요. ramshackle, 곧 무너질 듯한, ramshackle, 곧 무너질 듯한. cockeyed, 삐딱한이란 뜻이에요. 삐딱한. rusty는 녹슨. cave는 움푹 들어가다. pine needle, pine이 뭔가요? pine이 소나무예요. 파인애플 파인하고 비슷한가요? 그런데 이 파인, pin만 있으면요, 이것은 소나무란 뜻이고요. 소나무의 잎사귀들은 어떻게 생겼나요? 마치 가시처럼 막 이렇게 삐죽삐죽 하잖아요. 그래서 솔잎은 pine leaf가 아니라 pine needles라고 하는 거 주의해 주세요. 솔잎, pine needle. 소나무 가시들이 아니라, 그리고 소나무 바늘처럼 생긴 삐죽삐죽한 솔잎. prickly는 가시로 뒤덮인 이란 뜻이에요. kutzvine인데 발음이 좀 어렵죠? kutzvine는 칡 넝쿨이에요. 바이는 이제 포도, 넝쿨 이런 거 뜻하는데요. 쿠츠가 붙으면 칡 넝쿨이에요. 칡 넝쿨을 우리 도시에 있는 친구들은 못 봤을 텐데요. 정말 어마무시하게 꽈배기처럼 막 타고 올라간 넝쿨이 있어요. 그래서 칡 넝쿨이 올라탄 나무들은 막 죽어버리기도 해요. 그래서 농사를 짓는 분들은 이 칡 넝쿨 제거하는 게 굉장히 큰 일이거든요. 잠깐 방심해두면 칡넝쿨이 자라나서 나무를 다 죽여버려요. 과일나무 같은 것도요. 쿠츠바인, 칡넝쿨. 슬럼프는 털썩 주저앉다라는 뜻이 있어요. 왜 우리가 슬럼프에 빠졌어요. 연예인들 막 슬럼프에 빠졌어요. 아니면 공부하다가 갑자기 슬럼프에 빠졌다. 열심히 공부가 잘 안된다. 이런 말 하는데요. 슬럼프의 원래 뜻은 털썩 주저앉다라는 뜻이에요. 그리고 정말 중요한 미인이란 단어 나왔는데요. 미인이 1번 동사로 쓰일 때 의미하다고요. 형용사일 땐 비열한이란 뜻이고요. 3번 도구나 수단을 나타내기도 해요. 그럴 때는 반드시 means 복수형으로 쓸 때만 3번 뜻이 된다는 점 꼭 기억해 주세요. 미인, 의미하다, 비열한, 도구나 수단. 세 가지 뜻 모두 자주 나오니까요. 기억해 주세요. 챕터 6에서는요, 비열한이란 2번 뜻으로 쓰였어요. plumb crazy. crazy가 원래 미친, 돌았어. Are you crazy? 너 미쳤니? 막 이런 뜻이잖아요. 그런데 plumb이 붙으면 완전히 돌았다 라는 뜻인가 봐요. 지금 분위기가, 단어들이 굉장히 험악하죠? 네, 지금 챕터 6 내용이 그렇죠. sniff는 킁킁거리면서 냄새 맡는 거예요. 아니면 이제 콧물이 나와서 킁킁거리는 것도 되고요. slam, 문을 꽉 닫다. 아니면 힘껏 밀다라는 뜻이에요. 왜 우리 농구할 때 슬램 덩크라는 말이 있는데요. 그 덩크슛 하는 거예요. 덩크슛인데 그 바스켓, 그 농구할 때 그 바구니 있죠? 천장에 매달린 바구니에 공을 슝 넣어야 이제 골인인데요. 덩크슛을 하는데 슬램 덩크 하면 힘껏 밀어서 꽝 하고 한 번에 골인 하는 걸 말하죠. 슬램, 꽝 닫다, 힘껏 밀다. 스냅은 딱 소리 나게 부러뜨리다 해서요. 그 스냅. 딱 소리 난다, 찰칵 이런 뜻도 있어요. 스냅. 트위그는 나무의 잔가지. 나무가 이렇게 크게 있으면, 그쵸? 나무가 이렇게 막 굵은 가지도 있는데 여기에서 이렇게 잔가지들이 이렇게 나무 옆에 이렇게 잔가지들도 또 있죠? 네, 그래서 큰 나무가 형성이 되는데요. 네, 나무 그림 같나요? 네, 이런 거를 트위그, 나무의 잔가지라고 한대요. 퍼들은 물 웅덩이고요. 퍼들. 오어블리는 기우뚱한 한 거죠. 그러니까 쓰러질 듯한 이런 거죠. 오어블리. 그리고 네, 밀듀. 네, 밀듀. 처음에 나는 듀? 이슬인가? 마일듀인가? 했는데 그게 아니라 발음 조심해 주세요. 밀듀예요. 밀듀. 흰 곰팡이란 뜻이래요. curl up은 몸을 웅크리다 라는 뜻이고요. flat out은 완전히 미치도록 이런 뜻이에요. flat은 원래 이게 납작한 이란 뜻이잖아요. flat이 납작한인데 flat out 완전히 납작해서 나가버리는 거예요. 완전히 out됐네. 완전한 out 이런 느낌인 것 같아요. worse off는 이제 off는 뭔가 떨어지는 건데 더 나쁜, 더 최악인 이런 뜻인 건데요. 더 나쁘다. 원래 bad가 형용사로 나쁜이잖아요. bad의 비교급 더 나쁜 worse 가장 나쁜 최악의 worst예요. 그래서 bad, worse, worst 이렇게 비교급도 꼭 기억해 두세요. Read after me, speak loudly. Chapter 6. My stomach was flopping around like crazy as we made our way through the neighborhoods of Derby. I couldn't hardly wait to see which house would be ours. But when Mama turned onto a dirt and gravel road, I started to get a bad feeling. The car squeaked and bounced up the narrow, winding road, deeper and deeper into the woods. When we passed the faded, handwritten sign nailed to a tree, my bad feeling got worse. Keep out. Private. Property. Are you sure this is right? I said to Mama. She clutched the steering wheel and sat up straight and tense. Yes, Georgiana, she said. I know what I'm doing, okay? Then, just as I thought my bad feeling couldn't get any worse, we rounded a curve and I saw a house just ahead of us. A ramshackle old house with boarded up windows and the front door hanging all crooked on its rusty hinges. Mama stopped the car and we all three stared in silence at the wreck of a house. The tar paper roof was caved in and covered with rotting leaves and pine needles. Prickly-looking bushes grew thick and dense across the front, while kudzu vines snaked their way up the chimney and across the roof. Well, Mama said, it ain't Shangri-La, but it's the better than nothing. I couldn't believe my ears. That's the house we're gonna live in, I said. It's just temporary. Mama turned the engine off and started throwing stuff into a cardboard box on the seat beside her. Bubbly Jenkinson over at the handy pantry knows the owner, and she said he won't care if we stay here for a while. Toby started crying. I don't wanna, he whined. Hush up, Toby, Mama said. She got out and tried to push through the bushes that grew across the front of the house. Come on, y'all, she said. Let's check it out. I crossed my arm and slumped down in the seat. This just beat all. First I had to go and get a dad who acted mean all the time and then just stopped and left us. Now I had a mama who had gone plumb crazy. Come on, Georgiana, Mama called. It's not that bad. She had managed to get to the front door and had pushed it open to peer inside. Really? Oh, she said. We can clean it up and make it nice. Toby was sniffling, and I knew he was waiting on me to make the first move. I bet there's snakes in there, I called out through the car window. Mama had disappeared inside, but her voice came drifting out to us. There's no snakes, there's even some furniture, come on! I looked at Toby and he looked at me. You think there's really snakes in there? He said. Snakes and orcs, I said. Probably rats and spiders and that stuff. Toby started wailing. Mama came out and made her way back to the car, pushing the bushes aside to make a pass. Come on, she said, opening the door and gathering up the box and trash bags and stuff. No, I said, I'm staying here. No, Toby said. I'm staying here. Mama slammed the box down and yanked the back door open. Listen here, she hollered. I'm doing the best I can. At least we'll have a roof over our heads and some room to spread out. It won't be for long. How long? I said. She sighed. Not long, she said. I almost have enough for rent, but most places want a deposit too. You two just don't get it. Her voice started getting louder until she was hollering again. You think all I got to do is snap my fingers and bingo. She pounded on top of the car. There's the rent and there's the deposit and there's the gas for the car, she yelled. And snap, there's electricity and water and phone, not to mention food and clothes and doctors and stuff. She kicked the car when she yelled the word stop. Toby and I jumped. Now get out of the damn car and come inside, she said. Then she picked up the box and started back through the bushes toward the house. I gathered on my pillow and our beach towel roll. Come on, Toby, I said. Let's go. The house smelled damp and moldy. The flowers littered with leaves and acorns. In the front room, a lumpy couch stood underneath the plywood-covered window. Mice or rats or something had chewed through the fabric to the foam stuffing beneath. Stacks of yellowing newspapers were piled in one corner. Two empty cans of pork and beans sat on a rusty wood stool. I followed Mama into the kitchen. The cracked linoleum floor was thick and made squeaky noises as we walked across it. I wrinkled my nose and peered into the sink. Twigs and dirt that had fallen through a hole in the ceiling floated in a puddle of dark brown water. I turned the faucet, but no water came out, not even one little drop in one corner of the kitchen. Our oval table was covered with empty soda cans and beer bottles. Cigarette butts were scattered on the floor beneath it. Our nasty old car is better than this place, I said, but Mama acted like she didn't hear me. She set the box on the table and pushed her hair out of her face. I'll bring the rest of our stuff in and let's start cleaning this place up, she said. That night, I lay on the floor on top of piled up clothes, covered with my beach towel, and stared at the middle-wet ceiling. Mild ceiling. In all corners, rain and leaked in and left a dark spot. I narrowed my eyes, and that dark spot looked just like Willie. His ears and his eyes and even his whiskers. That morning, I had pushed him right out of my mind, and now here he was back again, all because of this awful old house. I could hear Mama tossing and turning on the other side of the room. Toby was curled up next to me. Every now and then his legs jerked. I bet he was dreaming about spiders and snakes. I wanted more than anything to go to sleep, so I wouldn't have to think about stuff, but I couldn't. I just lay there thinking about how everything had gotten so messed up and all. Then I remembered an Aesop fable that Mr. White had read us in school, the one about the hares and the frog. I could still hear him reading the moral at the end. There is always someone worse off than yourself. Huh, I thought. Or Mr. Aesop must have been stupid because he was just flat out wrong. There was nobody nowhere worse off than me. 네, 챕터 6, 챕터 5와 정반대 이야기네요. 챕터 5 끝에서는 엄마가 살 집을 구했다고 해서 기대에 찼고 윌리를 훔치지 않아도 되겠다. 강아지 윌리를 훔치지 않아도 되고 정말 내가 나쁜 생각을 했었지 라면서 편안하게 잠이 들었는데요. 챕터 6, 네, 드디어 집에 가봤죠. 근데 아주 깊은 숲속에 있는 아주 낡은 시골집이었어요. 마치 벌레나 스네이크, 뱀이 나올 것 같은 집이었는데요. 온통 쓰레기 더미로 가득한 집을 엄마의 강요에 의해서 대충 치우고 잠을 자는데요. 잠이 올 리가 없죠. 그리고 이솝 우화의 주인공, 비참한 주인공보다 내가 더 비참하다 라는 말로 챕터 6가 끝나는데요. 결국 우리의 주인공 조지아나는 강아지 윌리를 다시 훔쳐야겠다라는 생각으로 마음을 바꾸네요. 챕터 6, 다음 시간에 어떤 내용이 있는지 또 궁금해지네요. Thank you for listening. Catch you later. See you. Bye bye.